Three parties only. Hello, testing. Thanks. Okay, it's about X23 on the clock, so we're gonna start soon. Just give me a few minutes. I'm just checking the attendance. I think most of us are here already. I'm still waiting for I think Tatamo and two other people. Welcome everyone to Sharks BA Practice Run for August. This is one of the monthly learning runs that I host pretty much every month, mainly directed towards new players. Now, before we get started, there's a couple of things that I usually try to ensure before we actually start. Now, the first is that if you are here in the voice chat and you are in a party, just help me to kindly. Okay, because I will mainly be doing communications through the VC here. So it'll be easier for me lah if everyone can hop onto the VC. Okay, now they don't have to speak if they don't want to. It's perfectly fine. Just need to be able to listen in. It makes things easier for myself to run the rate. If everyone's for whatever reason, if there's anyone who cannot actually hop onto the VC, okay, they for whatever reason, okay, no, they aren't able to join us on the VC. Just get them to inform the party lah. So if let's say there's someone who for some reason maybe their headset's not working or Discord just doesn't let them hop onto the VC, just get them to type to let the party know. So if there is people like that, if there's important instructions being disseminated, just help me to type it out to them lah. Okay, I've had cases where people have certain issues with hopping onto the VC, and it's fine, no, it's perfectly acceptable. They won't be able to hear the callouts, okay, but generally speaking, they are prepared lah. Okay, but we need to give them instructions because there have been cases in the past where I say okay, we are reinstating. So I'm trying to avoid such situations from happening in the future. So just help to get everyone on board as well. Thanks. Now, the other thing to mention here before we get started, okay, so as people are hopping onto the VC, okay, there's a couple of things that we will need to prepare for BA before we actually enter into the high data zone. Okay, now there'll be quite a bit of time for that we'll need to wait before we can actually start the BA. So for now, maybe what I like to do is we'll just try to get everyone accounted for, and then we will try to zone in once we have everyone present. Okay, I'm still waiting for someone on in my party now. For party leaders, if you can just help me to tick off the names of the spreadsheet. Okay, I think most of you have done that already. Okay, Bella's team 1 fully accounted for. Thank you very much. Okay, my party, we are just missing Tomato. She's not here yet, so I'll just wait for her. Then I think team 3, Aizilcho Del Toro is not here as well. So there's only about 2 more people we are waiting for. If for team 3, if you all can kindly just drop Del Toro a ping, either through Discord, or if anyone here knows them, you can just try to ping them in the game, see if they're online. Okay, if they're online, maybe sometimes they just forget the time or they misread the timing. They thought it's like 1 hour later, time zones and all that. So maybe just drop them a ping, courtesy ping, see if they are online. If they are, just ask them, hey, we're starting soon. Would you like to just join us? Okay, but other than that, I think most of us who are supposed to go for the BA run is already accounted for. So I'll just give a brief run through on what to expect for today's session. Now, prior to hopping into Hydatos, there's a couple of things that you need to bring. For new players, okay, this is mainly directed towards the new players. So obviously, if you're a veteran, you already know this. Okay, but for the new players, you will need to have, okay, not need, but it's ideal that you should bring your Kirin Osode or Vermilion Cloak. Okay, so for body pieces, the best in slot is your Kirin Osode or Vermilion Cloak. Okay, remember to bring it along. It will give you the elemental stat, which is an offense and defensive stat increase, and it actually helps you in all of Eureka, okay, as well as BA itself. Okay, ideally you should have gotten one when you started your Eurekan adventure in Animos. Okay, it would have helped you throughout the entirety of Eureka itself. Now, for the other pieces of gear, okay, the rest of your body, left side gear slots, weapon, as well as the right side accessories, to be fair, there really isn't much else you can have that is considered as biz. Okay, the only way to get the biz gear for Eureka is to actually do BA. So if you are a first timer, you will not be able to have acquired the elemental +2 gear that is considered as biz. Okay, any gear with the elemental bonus stat on it is technically the biz gear for BA. Okay, so for new players, you won't be able to get these because the only way to get these is from actually doing some BA. Hence, the most you can have is just the body piece. Now, for those of you who have the Cassie's earrings and Blitz ring, okay, those are technically a lateral upgrade, okay, or what I call a side grade. They are not, they are nice to have, but they are not mandatory. Okay, they are not necessary. They give a haste bonus, which increases your skill speed / spell speed. Okay, but if you don't have them, it's perfectly fine. Okay, they're quite kind of expensive, and they are rare items as well. So it's not a must-have, but for those who do have it, you can just use it if you are willing to afford it, If you can afford it, it's perfectly fine as well. Okay, now other than that, bring some food with you. Okay, some eye level 500 and above food is generally considered more than enough. Okay, your stats is sort of scaled down or synced inside Hydatos. So anything eye level 450, 500 and up is you're gonna get the maximum as much as you can out of it already. So just bring some food. Food helps inside. Pots if you wish to, but generally speaking, not really necessary. Okay, stat potions can be used, okay, but they are not really mandated as well. And okay, yes, and your logos actions. Okay, logos actions, later when we zone into Hydatos, we will be able to have some time to sort of like prepare your Eurekan logos actions, okay, the trays as we call them. If you haven't already done so, okay, ideally you should prepare them prior to today's session. Okay, but we should have a little bit of time prior to starting to prepare the Eurekan actions, okay, the logos actions. Okay, now other than those three things, so just once again, your body piece, and any accessories that you may have. Bring some food, and your logos actions, you should have prepared them prior to today's session. Okay, if you haven't created the trace, we will still have some time to create the actions when we zone into hide the toss, but you must have the logograms. Okay, you must have the items to appraise so that you can form them inside. Okay, if you've met all these requirements, okay, you have all these things prepared, we are just going to do a ready check, and parties can just zone into hide the toss. Okay, I think there's only three parties that we're officially bringing along. Okay, I'm aware that there'll be some crashes. Okay, they are more like tag alongs. Okay, people who will tag along with us to join us with our runs. Okay, these are mainly the BA addicts. Okay, the veterans who have done a lot of BA. Okay, they have nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon, and they just decide, oh, Shark's running his BA practice run, I'll just crash the runs. Okay, they are more than welcome to join us as well. I usually leave about 16 spare slots. Okay, but today, because we're only fielding 3 parties. Okay, 3 almost full parties. So 8, 16, 23 players. We're only fielding 23, and then the spare players will come and pad the numbers. Slightly over undersized. Okay, we're just barely going over the undersized minimum number. That's exactly 24. Okay, nice, nice. Where's Tatamo? Tatamo's not here. I need to get Tatamo here. Let me go ping Tatamo. Tatamo's gonna be our organizer for today, but in any case, I'll just zone in first for my party. We'll zone in first so that it will give us some time to prepare stuff lah. Okay, I need to. Yep, no worries. Okay, I'll just zone in. Okay, with luck, we'll have a bit of time to get prepared before we need to start. Fingers crossed, Ovni doesn't pop straight away in before it's actually up already. Yeah, see, Ovni's up. Shit. Yeah, this always happens for my runs. Okay, I don't know if you can catch this one. I know, right? Yeah. Okay. For those who are
half an hour might be good for anyone who isn't prepared.
yeah, this is a good time to get prepped for your logos actions lah. Okay, so quickly go over to the logos manipulator thing and form your logos trace if you haven't done so. Now, do note that everyone should have a single Spirit of the Remembered tray prepared for when you start BA later on. Okay, and hopefully, let me see if we can go ping Okay, now, prior to starting BA, okay, so for those, Tatamo's here, okay. For those who first time, okay, you have never done BA before, okay, now we have about 10 minutes, so I'm going to give it another 5 minutes, so by 5 minutes on the fate time, we'll start. Okay, so we'll start at 0500 on the fate timer. So we're going to sort of expedite things a bit. Okay? I don't want to wait another 20 minutes for the next OVNI. So we're just going to give 5 minutes. Everyone quickly form their logos actions and head over to the OVNI. Now, there's 3 things that you need to check to ensure that you can actually participate in BA. And I'm just going to quickly mention these. Number 1, you must be elemental level 60. If there's anyone here who is not EL 60, I'm sorry, but you will not be able to join us because there's no time for you to quickly level up. Okay, but I think looking at the party list, everyone is 60. Okay, everyone who's joining this run is 60. Number 2, you must have completed all the Hydatos quests in this zone. So all the quests that you naturally do as you progress through Eureka, you must have finished every single quest. The very last quest in the quest line unlocks BA. So make sure that you have completed all the quests. Okay, it's just simply talking to Tata what's the name? Utamo. What's the Kral. Okay, talking to Kral or Ajika, and then they'll give you the quest to unlock BA. So make sure you have that done as well. Okay, we've had cases before where people couldn't get in because they didn't actually unlock the actual quest to do BA. Okay, and the third thing is you need to contribute to the fate and get a gold rating for the OVNI fate. So the I don't want to believe it, which is now at 9 minutes, so we have 4 minutes more before we get started. You need to participate in that fate and get a gold credit rating for that fate itself. Now this is easily done in a party. So if you're in a full party or like a party of 5 players or so, it's very easy to get gold. But you need to get gold, and you must be in the fate zone when the OVNI dies for you to qualify. So do not leave the fate area prior to OVNI dying. Okay, this is going to be the BA OVNI. Yeah, cause I don't want to. I'm not going to make people wait for another 20 minutes unnecessarily lah. We will just try to expedite things, go faster a bit. Okay, so this is the BA OVNI. Since everyone is here already and there's enough time, we will sort of try to make it for this OVNI lah. So 3 minutes. Yeah, you know, you all have to sit here and listen to me talking for another 20 minutes, which I think a lot of the veterans will fall asleep. So we'll try to do this BA. Shh. Okay, so now so that's pretty much it for what you need to have to start BA lah. Okay, I'm gonna just like continue to sermon and explain things that you need to know prior to starting. But for those who are once you're ready, okay, you have gotten all your things required. You've got your role, your logos, actions, your gear. Okay, try to make your way over to OVNI in 2 minutes. Okay, we will pull in 2 minutes. So by you should be slowly making your way over as soon as you can. Okay, now once we start OVNI, the fight itself, okay, there's no need to like unload your best DPS and go ham. It's fine. Generally speaking, we just need to hit it a little bit, tag it, try to stay alive. But dying is fine. If you die, it's fine as well. It doesn't really matter. Just get rest and then continue as per normal. Now, the moment OVNI dies, once again, just a gentle reminder, you need to be inside the fate zone. You cannot leave the fate zone. Okay, otherwise, you will not qualify for the run. And once OVNI dies, there will be a 10-minute buff that everyone who qualifies for BA will get. Okay, everyone will get a 10-minute buff, which will immediately tick down to 9 minutes. If you have it, it means that you're qualified to enter BA. Now, the moment OVNI dies, this phase known as Portal Wars begins. And what happens is that 48 portals in the Hydatos zone will appear 4 minutes after OVNI dies. So when the clock or the timer on the buff reach 6 minutes, 48 blue portals will appear, and you need to be sitting on one of these 48 blue portal spots to sort of reserve that spot lah. Okay, here on material, we just do it very free form. It's an FFA concept. Just go and find an empty spot, sit on it, blue portals appear. Now, just be very careful not to click on the blue portal. If you have an etheric stabilizer, when you click on a blue portal, you will immediately enter BA. Okay, but generally for a new player, you shouldn't have one. Okay, unless you went to farm a step. Okay, an etheric stabilizer is what we call a step for short. Okay, if you went to farm one, if you click on a blue portal, you will immediately consume the stabilizer and you will enter into BA early. Okay, this is what we call priority entry. Now, steps are not free. Okay, now we're going to start in about 6 seconds or so. So just slowly tag OVNI, hit it a little bit. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, and just try not to die lah. Okay, and while this is going on, I'll just explain how portals work here in Hydatos. Now, after OVNI dies, okay, portals appear 6 minutes after OVNI dies. Okay, blue portals will appear. 3 minutes after that, red portals will appear. Okay, now Mega Swarm run in or run all the way out. Okay, and once red portals appear, you click on the red portal to enter. Now there will be 48 portals. So to be honest, our player count right now is sitting on 43. So we will definitely be able to get everyone in. Okay, everyone who signed up. Okay, we have about 24 of us. So everyone who signed up will be able to enter BA. So there's no issue with portals. Just take note that in a more crowded zone, okay, if for whatever reason one day you ever have more than 48 players, there may be some fighting to get a portal. Okay, but this hardly happens here on Materia. So pros and cons of having a lower player count, there's less competition for things like portals. Okay, so just run over, find the empty portal spot. Now do note that the portals cannot be seen on the map right now. Usually I would post, okay, thanks Tomato. Okay, so Tomato has posted a picture of the map in our Eureka Lounge channel. If you just go over and take a look at it, you can see this is where all the portals will appear shortly. If not, then just later on, or now in fact, you can open up the mini map and just leave it open. The portals will appear as small little blue crosses on your mini map when they appear in about 2 minutes or so. They will also change color to red. Red when the red portals appear. So you just need to keep the minimap open and just make a beeline to the nearest portal. Okay, we have no issues with portals because there are more portals than there are players. Okay, if any of you have any questions that you wish to ask, feel free to just ask them in. You can use the VC if you want to, so long as it's not like we're in the middle of a fight and I'm doing short calls. It's okay for you to chat on the VC as well. Alternatively, because we are pretty much the only people here in Hydatos, you can use the yell chat or shout chat as well. Okay, for today's session, Tomato or Tatamo will be our organizer. So thanks very much, Tatamo, for helping to organize. I hope you have the macros ready. Yes, thanks, Tomato. Who knows, maybe one day Tomato will just take over running these lah, and then I can retire. Red portals will pop up soon. Sorry, blue portals will pop up soon. So these are the blue portals. Once again, just gentle reminder, don't click on the blue portals. If you have a stabilizer in your inventory, okay, and stabilizers are not free. If you have a stabilizer in your inventory and you click on the blue portal, you will instantly consume the stabilizer, which is unnecessary for today's session. Okay, there are more portals than there are players, so there's no need to use the priority entry system. Okay, so we're just gonna sit still for another 3 more minutes. For those who want the fairy, I think it's fine lah. Midori, it's okay lah. If no refresh, then just your party will just not be rotating the Magia board too much. But it's generally not a very big issue. Yeah, for those of you who like first time, this is your first encounter with BA. The content itself isn't very difficult lah. It's not very hard. The difficulty level is like akin to a 24-man alliance raid. Okay, that's approximately how difficult the content is. So it's not really that difficult, but the main issue with BA is that inside BA, if you die, right, you're just dead. You cannot get res normally, which is what frightens most people. Now, having said this there's actually a few ways you can raise yourself inside BA. The main method is the Spirit of the Remembered Logos action. Okay, this is why I recommend everyone to have a single Spirit of the Remembered. Later, when we zone into BA, everyone will open or crack open their single Spirit of the Remembered. Okay, every time you die inside BA, your spirit will be consumed and it will try to res you. Okay, 70% chance to proc and get you back up. Now, even if it fails and you don't get back up, it will still be consumed. So you will still need another one if you die. Hence, the recommendation to bring a few. Okay, if you are new and you're not very confident in yourself staying alive, then bring at least 2 to 3 just in case. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Okay, so just bring a few spares just in case. Okay, worse, like if you don't die as much, then you just have some spares for the next time you do BA, which is perfectly fine as well. Okay, so this is for the spirits. Now, the other two ways to get res, one of them is Healer LB3. Okay, but Healer LB3 is generally doesn't really happen. Okay, now red portals have come up. Just click on them to get into BA. There'll be a cutscene. So just let the cutscene play through. Okay, now Healer LB3 doesn't really happen very much in BA, so we don't rely on it. Now the most common way for dead players to get back up if their spirit doesn't trigger is for healers to sacrifice themselves. Healers will use a logos action called Sacrifice L, which will res the dead player but kill the healer, and then the healer will rely on their own spirit to get them back up. So the healer is actually consuming their Spirit of the Remembered to try and raise other players. Okay, so there's also a chance that it doesn't work, and then the healer will stay dead, and another healer will need to sacrifice them, and then they will do this sacrifice chain thing. Okay, now, for those who have entered into BA, okay, welcome to BA, first timers. Now, at the very start here, when you're on this initial starting platform, there's a logos manipulator and there's a mega melder. Do not fall off this initial starting platform. Okay, what I mean by fall off is do not drop off the sides. Okay, because once you drop off the sides of this platform, you cannot get back up here. So do not drop off this initial starting platform. Okay, there's going to be a couple of things that I need to explain before we get started. First thing you need to do is crack open your single Spirit of the Remembered tray that I asked you to make. Okay, or if not, then just use the logos manipulator to make one. Okay, you should have a single spirit. Crack it open, use it, okay, apply it onto yourself, and then use the logos manipulator to replace that empty tray. Okay, you can use the logos manipulator up here to form logos actions, but once we get started, there's no coming back here. So we need to actually prepare everything that we need for this run at the start. Once we start, there's no coming back. Okay, and we cannot come back to here, get back to the start here to form anymore. Okay, there's no way to sort of bring more actions later on. Hence, you need to try to bring whatever you need for the entire run right now. Okay, so spend some time to form your actions. If you are new, you should have seen our recommendations in our Discord. Okay, the BA README or the Content Achievers Guide will recommend things like Plate Bearer for brand new players who are DPS. Okay, and also recommended to bring a bit of DPS actions for the second half of BA. Okay, once we hit the midpoint, there'll be a sort of a small little intermission. There'll be a break, and then after that point, I will ask players to start to take off their plate bearers and use the DPS wisdoms, okay, because DPS becomes important for the second half of BA. Okay, but for now, just form up your logos actions. Now, the other thing to mention here is for the parties in BA at the start. Okay, now there's a timer on the right hand side of there's a timer on the screen just below the Hydatos timer. You will say conquer the Baldigian Arsenal. It's sitting at about 20 minutes and 30 seconds now for me. Okay, and everyone else who is in here will have the same timer. This is our time limit here in side BA. So I will try to need to go a bit faster to beat the time limit. Every time we hit certain checkpoints, like we beat the first boss, we will get a time extension. Okay, we beat the second boss, there will be another time extension, so on and so forth. So we need to sort of expedite things to clear the BA. Okay, now seeing that this is a practice run, I tend to sort of sermon a lot. Okay, a lot of people know that I talk a lot. Okay, I give very lengthy sermons. So I'll try to speed things up a bit and try to cut down on the exposition. Okay, now I will still try to explain all the important points lah. So do bear with me as I go through these the basic information. Okay, now at the very start of BA, we will actually need to split our alliance into two groups. Okay, there will be a logos manipulator side, which is also known as the art side, and there's the Magia Melder side, which is the Owain side. Okay, the first pair of bosses are known as the twins. One is called Art, one is called Owain, and we actually need to split our alliance into two groups to sort of beat them at about the same time. Okay, they need to sort of get killed at about the same time. Okay, the reason for this is because if one of them is still alive, the other one just doesn't die. Hence, the need to sort of balance our offensive capabilities to sort of take them down at about the same time. Okay, if it is lopsided, we can still do it, but it just makes things difficult for the party with the insufficient firepower. Okay, so hence we will try to split the groups into art side and Owain side. Now, usually what happens is, okay, as an example, my party 1, 2, 5 main tank art. Okay, and I will usually yell out something like this. This means that my party has 1 tank, 2 healers, and 5 DPS. I'm the main tank for art side, so I'll mention that as well. And we are going to the art side. Okay, so Bella 2, 2, 4 main tank Owain. So Bella's party has 2 tanks, 2 healers, 4 DPS going to the Owain side. And so on and so forth. Okay, likewise. So myself, Bella, Neve, and Shuyin are the 4 main parties in here. I think we have a total of about 30 plus players. Okay, let me just do a quick head count. 30. Yeah, about 40 players. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, now if there's anyone who is not in the party, right? Just let us know lah. Okay. I'm not sure if this Chara is in the VC, but any party with spare slots, just try to pick up the players. We have 40, right? So we should have exactly 5 parties or 8 lah. We should just try to form out into parties, and because everyone is like, if you are in here, you are with us doing VA. Okay, even if you didn't sign up, you didn't mention that you're coming, right? If there's anyone who just joined, we will just pick them up and we'll just bring them along with us and do BA together. Ideally, they can join us on the VC if they want to, but if they don't want to, it's perfectly fine as well. And we'll just go through BA together. Okay, thanks. Okay, so the organizer will help to sort of check that that is evenly balanced. Like, for example, let's say if like 3 parties say they want to go art and then only like 12 people going to Owain, then the organizer will say, oh no, we have too many people going to art side, can some people go over to Owain, and so on and so forth. So thanks very much, Tomato, for helping to do the organization. Okay, I can't do it all by myself because I'll be explaining things and doing orgs, and it'll be a mess. Okay, now the other thing to mention here is that if you can, for party leaders, right, try to place waymarks on the side that your party is falling off. Okay, so if you all see waymarks on either the left or the right side, that is your party side. But don't jump off yet. Usually we try to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, like Tomato will make sure that everyone's going onto the correct side, and we have the correct numbers going on Art and Owain. And then once we get the go ahead, we will just get started lah. Okay, so I think for art side, right, my party, I think we are good to go. Okay, but just do a ready check to make sure that everyone's ready. And then once the parties are ready, make sure everyone drops off on the correct side. Okay, once again, if you fall off on the wrong side, okay, if you fall off the side that your party is not going on, you're gonna get stuck on that side. So make sure you follow your party. Okay, and then your healers are on the other side, they can't heal you. Okay, and then once you all have fallen off, just go ahead and start to beat up the trash mobs. Okay, the initial stages of BA, right, is basically just beating up some. But do keep in mind that inside here, okay, inside BA, if you are new, you are not a tank, you are not on defensive, and you are not geared, if you accidentally pull a mob or you rip aggro off the main tank, there's a chance that you can get one-shotted or two-shotted. Okay, mobs hit really, really hard inside BA because we don't have echo as well. So try to avoid pulling accidentally. Okay, just try to avoid accidents. Okay, for tanks, if you are not the main tank, but you are on defensive and you're geared, okay, you know what you're doing, just help to babysit other players. Okay, the main issue is not that the DPS die, the main issue is that the healers will die because a DPS will accidentally pull something, the healer will heal someone in their party, and then the healer will pull the amenity off the DPS, and then after the healers die. So usually the tanks will need to step in to help to protect the squishier players. Yeah, it happens, don't worry. Okay, but if accidents do happen, then it's fine. We'll try to pick everyone up as much as we can. Okay, but do keep in mind that healer sacrifices are not cheap, and technically speaking, we don't mandate healers using sacrifice, but the community as a whole here tends to be very nice, and they will try their best to pick up players to carry them along. Okay, now, important thing to note with the Biblos mobs at the top of the stairwell, you do not want to be in front or behind them because there's a very nasty cleave that comes out instantaneously. Also, do not stand with the main tank. They will cleave the main tank after the hammer. Okay, so just be very careful about the Biblosses at the top. If you're not sure, just, stay away from them. Okay, be at range is the best. Okay, and once we've reached the first pair of bosses, what usually happens is that the someone will shout out. Okay, for example, I think Owen's side has arrived. Okay, but usually someone will mention that they have arrived at their boss, and basically we'll wait for both sides to arrive before we set a pull time to get started. Okay, now. Yes, thanks for reminder. Use the food. Okay, for Cortania, I think you're on the wrong side. So we have marked you. Okay, my party has marked you, and we'll try to keep you alive, but just try not to take too much damage. And once we clear the first pair of bosses, you will merge back with our your missing party, and then you'll be fine. Okay, but for the time being, we will just keep an eye out for you and try to keep you alive. Okay, don't worry about it too much. It happens. Okay, now, Art and Owen, first pair of bosses. I'll try to do a quick explanations before we get started. Okay, Typhon, maybe you help me main tank for Art. It'll be easier. Thanks. Okay, so Art and Owen mechanics. Okay, I'll start with Owen first. Owen is really easy. If Owen is fire, and you will see these spears on the edges, go to the opposite element spear. So if Owen is fire, and the spear is, you need to go to an ice spear. If Owen is ice, you need to go to the fire spear. Later on, if the fight drags on long enough, there will be some players marked with a triangle. Okay, they call it a Dorito marker, but it's just a triangle, red triangle marker. You need to stack with other players with the same marker, except those who have the AoE puddle on their feet. Okay, if there's a purple AoE puddle on your feet, you need to pull it away from other players. Okay, so red triangle stacked together, AoEs pull them away. Okay, that is all the mechanics for Owen. It's really easy. Now for Art side, okay, for Art, his mechanics are a bit tougher. He will either do a point blank AoE, and then the spears will do a point blank, or he will do a donut AoE, and the spears will do a donut as well. Okay, so you need to resolve the boss mechanic first, then quickly run to the spear to resolve the spear mechanic. Now, as an example for Art, if he does a point blank, you need to run out, and then once the mechanic, once his telegraph disappears, you need to run in to him to avoid the spears AoEs. Now, there's also a safe spot at the edge between any two spears if it is a point blank. Okay, now, if he does a donut AoE, you need to run in, and then once his telegraph disappears, you need to run out to any of the 4 spears to stand in the donut AoE for any of the 4 spears. Likewise, there's a safe spot if you just run all the way out to any of the 4 spears and stay near the outer edges, you'll be safe from his donut as well as the spear's donut because you're already standing on the spear. Okay, so this is for art side. Now for art, the floor will flash or glow. You need to stop moving to avoid getting slowed or heavied. Then once the floor stops glowing, move out of the line AoEs. Okay, the slow doesn't kill you. The line AoE kills you. So try to stop moving to avoid getting heavied, and then move out of the line AoEs to avoid dying. Okay, I will call out for art side because I'm on art side. Okay, but for Owen side, if there's any veteran player who can just say, go to fire, go to ice, and then triangle marker stack, that's all you really need to do. But if you wish to, you can help me to call them out as well. Okay, and that's all the mechanics for art and Owen. Okay, any questions before we get started? Okay, now I'm just going to assume that there are no issues, and we're going to start at ET 0510. Okay, so ET 0510. Okay, I'm giving 21 minute. I'm giving 1 minute. Okay, we're down to 9 minutes on the clock, so 8 minutes will start. Okay, the boss fights usually take about 3 to 4 minutes, not too long. Should have enough time. Okay, now if you have limit break, thanks Bella. If you have LB1 or LB2, 0509 for LB1, 0508 for LB2, range or caster LB only. Just fire it off because it will disappear once the boss is pulled. Okay, tanks, just check your stances. Okay, I think Typhon will be helping me to main tank for art side. Thanks, Typhon. And then Owen side, you all should have 1 main tank already there. Okay, just check your Magia, rotate to the correct element. Useful if you have it, LB2 if you have it, LB1 now. Okay, and just get started. Okay, the bosses will usually open up with a tank buster and a red white, so just heal through as necessary.
Spears are out. Go to ice. Owen, go to ice.
Art spears are out. Now this one will be okay, move in first, or you can move to any spear on the outer edge. Okay, and then run to a spear now. Run to any spear now. Now the next set will be point blank. But with any luck, he'll just die before then.
Owen at 20%.
Art is almost done. Okay, art side, just stay on defensive. Run out in between 2 spears. Okay, run out in between 2 spears on the outer edge, all the way out.
Owen, go to fire. Owen to fire.
Okay, now, oh, nice. Skip the stop moving mechanic. Okay, now if up ahead there'll be stairs, let the perception players go first. There is a trap up ahead. Okay, let the perception players go first. There are traps in this stairwell. They will scan for the traps and we just avoid stepping in them. Okay, the big shiny ones are explosive traps. If you step in them, they just instantly kill you and anyone standing around the trap. So please be careful with traps. Now, if there's any dead players, kindly let the healers deal with it. Healers, if you're going to sacrifice dead players, okay, as a sort of general etiquette thing, we try to announce it before we sacrifice dead players so that, we don't have healers doubling up on using sacrifices. Now, at the top of the stairwell, there'll be a hall. Hug the wall. There are more traps in this hall, and there'll be a treasure coffer at one end of the hall. Remember to pick up the treasure coffer. All treasure coffers in BA are personal treasures. You need to grab them yourself to get the loot found in them. Okay, I think Typhon will just go ahead and start pulling. Okay, Typhon, Bella, okay, any of the tanks, if you're a vet, y'all can just help me to start killing the mobs. Okay, yes, Cortania is back with their party, so we can help to just unmark.
Somebody put Sprite.
Got it, no worries, Typhon's on it. Yeah, just keep in mind what Tatamo said as well. For healers, if you're gonna sacrifice someone, it'll be really nice if you just announce it before you use the sacrifice. Because if let's say you crack open your sacrifice plate and someone else cracks open their sacrifice plate, and then you have two players holding on to sacrifice with no targets to use them on, which is not ideal. Okay, now watch out for the doll mob. The doll mob here needs to be pointed away from the alliance. So whoever's tanking it needs to point it away. Again, the other thing is that the centaurs need to be slapped. Okay, the berserk's going off, thanks. Nice. Okay, the centaurs up here need to be interrupted before their berserk cast goes off. If not, they gain a very massive damage up buff. But they cannot be stunned or silenced. So we need to use sleep to interrupt the centaurs. Hey. Yeah, but usually the veteran healers or casters will swift cast sleep. Okay, just keep in mind not to pre-cast sleep, because if you sleep it 3 times, it becomes immune to sleep afterwards, and then it become a problem. Alright, very nice. We're moving up to the second boss now. The second boss is Raiden. Okay, and now Raiden is a thunder aspected boss. Okay, it's thunder aspected, so you want to rotate your mega to the correct element. Okay, I'll just give a very brief explanations. Yeah, who wants to main tank? Does anyone want to volunteer the main tank? Okay, I'll let the veteran tanks to rock, paper, scissors and see who wins. Then y'all can just decide who wants to main tank. Okay, but mechanics explanation for Raiden. Now Raiden has 2 mechanics they need to look out for. The first is the lateral Zantetsuken. What happens is that Raiden will disappear from the arena, appear on either the east or the west side. All of us will stack in the middle, and Raiden will raise his sword on either his left or his right. Puddles will appear below randomly selected players, but because we are all stacked in the middle, a large number of AoE puddles will appear below all of us. Move out of the puddles and move towards the side Raiden's sword is not pointing at. Okay, once more from the start. Raiden disappears. We stack in the middle and look for Raiden on either the east or the west. Raiden will raise his sword on his left or his right. Puddles appear below everyone. Move out of the puddles and move towards the safe side, which is the side his sword is not pointing on. If you're unsure which side it is, just look for everyone else. We are all going to the same side. Okay, we're all either going north or south to avoid his sword. Killing anyone on the center and on the unsafe side. Okay, a pro tip, if you are unsure which side to go to at the start, move out of the puddles first. You can do this by running towards Raiden to get out of the AoEs. There will be enough time to orientate yourself and find, okay, I'm going to this way or I'm going to that way. Okay, there'll be a bit of time afterwards, once you get out of the AoEs, to go to the safe side. Okay, healers also, if you find that a party member is running off to Narnia or somewhere else, just quickly rescue them back to the safe side if they're on the wrong side. If they're on the opposite side and they're going to die. Okay, so this is the lateral Zantetsuken. Now, if DPS is a bit low and we see further mechanics, we will see Cloud to Ground. Now, Cloud to Ground happens later in the fight, and what happens is that Raiden places a single Exa Flare marker. Now, an Exa Flare is basically an AoE with a triangle in it. Okay, those traveling AoE markers. We will need to look for the first one. As it starts moving off, we will stack at where that first AoE spawned, because that spot is safe. Raiden does bitter bumps shortly afterwards, and a number of things will happen. Number one, there'll be Exaflares traveling across the arena. Number two, puddles will appear below randomly selected players. But again, because we're all stacked together, a large number of AoE puddles appear below everyone. Pop sprint, run away from that spot. And number three, if you have a tether with another player, split that tether by running away from the tethered partner. Okay, so you need to split the tether. If not, after a while, you will both start to take a lot of damage and die. Okay, so try to avoid everything. Pop sprint, avoid the AoEs, avoid the Exaflares, break the tether if necessary. Now, after all of that happens, come back in towards Raiden. Raiden follows it up with Whirling Zantetsuken, which is a donut-shaped AoE. The only safe spot is inside his hitbox. I will call it, I'll say, be inside his hitbox. Okay, for main tank, usually after the cloud to ground mechanic, if you can, try to pull Raiden closer to the center, because sometimes players run off to Narnia and they won't be able to make it back in time if Raiden's on one end of the arena as well. Okay, so this is all the important mechanics for Raiden. Any questions? Okay, I'll be doing calls for the rest of the fight. Okay, there'll be AoEs, tank busters, light DPS check, etc, etc. Just listen to the callouts and try our best to avoid the mechanics. Okay, if there's no issues or no questions, then we're just going to start at ET. Okay, let's set it to ET0850 lah. Okay, 0850. Okay, I'm going to give a 1 minute plus pull time. Okay, remember, once again, just do your usual checks. Food check. If you haven't used food already, just use food. It gives you a slight HP increase and some stats. Magia board check. Okay, rotate to the correct element. Tank stance check. Only the main tanks or main tank should have your stance on. Okay, and make sure you have your Spirit of the Remembered up as well. Anytime you die, just remember to pop a new one. Okay, and we'll be starting at ET0850. Okay, now LB1 at 0849, LB2 at 0848. Okay, range and caster LB only. Once again, just fire it off. If no one's using it and you are a range or caster DPS, just fire it off, because if you don't, it just gets wasted once the fight starts. Okay, and just ready up, listen to calls, and we'll just try our best to kill it before any of the major mechanics happen. Okay, if you have LB2, fire it off now. LB1, fire it off. Okay, and main tank establish. Now Raiden starts off with a red, white, and a tank buster. Okay, and you'll notice that the main tank will try to pull Raiden closer to the edge of the arena. Okay, his first mechanic requires him to be closer to the edge. Okay, and this is the tank buster. Now for range casters and healers, they can start to go to maximum range away from Raiden. Okay, you can start to go to maximum range away from Raiden. Shortly after this, he does Ame no Sakahoko, and then all players need to run away from him. Okay, now all players away from Raiden, away from Raiden. Raiden will jump backwards and will need to be inside his hitbox. Be inside Raiden's hitbox. Okay, come in, come in. Okay, anyone outside of this hitbox instantly dies. Now, next will be the lateral Zantetsuken. We'll be stacking in the middle and looking for Raiden. Raiden's on the east. Move out of the puddles and go towards the safe side. Okay, get out of the puddles first, and then look for everyone. Come over to where they are at. That was this one here. Some people just like to live on the edge. Okay, now, spread out lightly, spread out lightly. There's going to be a light DPS check here. You don't want to be in any overlapping regions. Okay, you should place these around the edges, but don't be in any of the overlaps. Okay, getting hit by one is fine. 2 or more becomes a bit spicy. Okay, this is a light DPS check. Just burn the spears. Red, white. Can move out of the bruise, BBTM. Now this is cloud to ground, but looks like we will just skip it, just commit and kill it. Okay, we'll just skip cloud to ground. Nice. Okay, now treasure coffer up ahead. Remember to grab the treasure coffer at the exit, near the exit, and then healers kindly help to sacrifice any fallen players. Thank you very much. Okay, do appreciate our healers. I do believe sacrifice L plates are kind of expensive. Okay, so we appreciate any healers who are willing to use sacrifice L. Okay, now up the stairwell, there's another hall here, and there'll be some mobs in the hall. Now we avoid running into the hall because there's a trap somewhere hidden in this hall. We're just gonna clear or pull the mobs closer to the entryway where we can dispatch them, giving space for the perceptors to scan for the traps. Thanks, Typhon. There's still a trap somewhere around here, so try to avoid running too far into the hall. Okay, nice. It's been found near the rear wall. There's also a door coming down the stairs, so just watch out for that one. Yeah, so if you all see like mobs suddenly dying right by themselves, it just means that someone has been using a high quality sharp brand Def L and then just instant.
7 brand sharp is lying. False advertising. It's been 7 death.
Okay, watch out for the trap up ahead. There's a trap in front of the treasure coffer. Now usually for traps, just keep in mind to give them a wide berth. We don't stand near traps because sometimes people step into them by accident or intentionally. Tanks will require trap usage for certain mechanics, okay, certain strategies that I won't get into detail here. Okay, but usually try to give a wide berth for traps if possible. Okay, once you've gotten that treasure coffer, there's another hallway here, and we're gonna just clean out the hallway of the mobs. Yeah, I think, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yep, now, this hallway has 6 rooms, and each room has an element, okay, quote unquote element. It's not explicitly stated, but there's actually an earth and fire room near the entryway, wind and thunder room in the middle, and ice and water rooms at the end. So what we're going to do is we're just going to clean out the mobs in the hallway first. Okay, there's a couple of sprites and undead armors walking around, and we're looking for 2 things. There's a visible treasure coffer in one of the 6 rooms. So usually what happens is that, okay, so for example, Neve has found it in the ice room, so thanks very much, Neve. We're gonna clear the hallway first and then head over to the ice room to clear that room and get the treasure coffer inside that room. Now the other thing that we're looking for here, someone's pulled the sprite, careful. Okay, the other thing we're looking for here is an invisible teleporter. Now this teleporter cannot be seen. We will need a perceptor to scan for the teleporter, but because there are mobs in the rooms, okay, we will need to actually dispatch the mobs in the rooms as well. Okay, and because we can't see the teleporter, we'll need to systematically clean out the rooms one at a time until we have found the teleport. Okay, do note the rooms have traps in them as well, so we don't carelessly run into the rooms. Okay, we try to pull the mobs out of the rooms and let the perceptors scan the rooms for traps. Okay, for your information, ice and water has 2 traps each, thunder and wind has 1 trap each, earth and fire has no traps for this first set of 6 rooms. Okay, now we've hit the jackpot. Grab the treasure chest first behind the teleporter. Okay, there's a treasure chest behind the teleporter. Grab the treasure chest first, then step into the teleporter. Okay, 1 room BA run, speed run, 1 room. Okay, but don't worry, if you forgot about it, right, it's fine. We will retrace our steps to these 6 rooms later on as well. So if you forgot to pick it up, there'll be another chance to grab it later on. Okay, now once you've gone through the teleporter, on the right there's a treasure coffer. Don't forget the treasure coffer on the right. Okay, remember to grab the treasure coffer after the teleport, and there'll be another hallway with more mobs, another trap, and another set of 6 rooms. So same deal, it's just tank and spank, scan for trap, and then clear the mobs. Okay, now what's going to happen here is that in this new set of 6 rooms, there's going to be a single button in the center of each of the 6 rooms. Okay, they will look similar to the previous set of 6 rooms. There'll be an earth, fire, thunder, wind, ice and water rooms, but there are no mobs in them. Okay, what's going to happen here is that we're going to split up into 6 different groups with at least 1 tank and ideally 1 healer in each room. And once all 6 rooms have somebody standing in the button in the center, okay, usually it's the tank, the doors will close. So we need to actually assign 6 groups of players into each of the 6 rooms, and when we have done so, all the rooms' doors will close and 2 mobs will spawn in every room. The players inside the room have to tank and spank their mobs and kill the mobs to exit the room. So hence the need to sort of split up our alliance into 6 different parties. Okay, there are certain strategies to work with smaller group sizes. Okay, for example, the earth room can be done with a single player with reflect, because the mobs in there only do magic damage. Okay, do take note that all the rooms have traps in them, so kindly avoid running into the rooms until perceptors have gone in to scan for the traps. Okay, there'll be 1 trap in every single room in the center of the room, overlapping the button in the middle. Okay, we're going to clean out the hallway first once again, and then as usual we will organize ourselves to each room. Okay, so you'll start to see players yelling out or shouting out their party compositions and the room elements that they are going to take. Okay, thanks Tatamo. She is helping to organize the parties in the chat, so I'll just leave you guys to it. Okay, now at the same time, once we have triggered the doors to close, okay, so in other words, once we have organized ourselves, we have sorted ourselves out, each room has 1 or more parties or players in them, and we have established, okay, that every room is going to be fine, we will call a start time and we will close the doors and mobs will spawn. Now at the same time, in the Hydatos zone outside, the Tristitia fate will pop up. Okay, there's another fate outside which will appear, and the players outside in Hydatos will help us to clear this fate. Now, generally speaking, for my practice runs, I don't actually assign players to do support because it's not really very nice to get people to wait out there just for us to reach here. Okay, but currently there's, I think, about 9 players out there, okay, including BBD, Dante is out there as well, okay, Wash Basin, okay, Dick's also there, and Eden. So there's quite a number of players out there who help us to clear the support fate lah. Okay, and those players out there will, once they have done the support, they will have 8 new portals that pop up in the same manner as we did for the original 48. So there'll be 8 new portals randomly placed in the map. Blue portals will appear first. 3 minutes after, red portals will appear. Okay, and they'll shuffle their position. So do note that the portal placement is fully random. So it's a bit hard to guarantee that the 8 players will come in unless there's only exactly 8 players out there. Okay, but a lot of thanks and appreciation goes out to the support desk players, okay, the support fate players out there. They're helping us to clear the support fate. Do note that if they don't clear the support fate, then we cannot proceed any further inside BA itself. So we actually need to sort of get some people to do the support fate. Okay, but usually there'll be some veterans out there who help us to clear it. In a worst case situation, we can actually send players outside to clear the support fate and come back in through the 8 new portals. Okay, so this is for the support fate. And I think we have sorted our rooms. Okay, yeah, just kindly note that for this section of BA, we will need to start using shout because we can't hear players on the opposite end of the hallway. Okay, so go to your assigned rooms. Once you're there, just do a ready check for your party or your room, and then shout out that your room is ready. I think we're missing one.
There is no Earth Party. There is no Earth Party.
Okay,
Can we
anyone?
please assist?
Anyone has
If you've
reflect?
got either if someone has a reflect or if we have a party with 2 tanks and 2 healers, can we split that party, please? Valentine. Let me see. Okay, so can we get a spare healer to go to? Does Valentine have another part? You guys have an extra? No, you don't. Okay. Well, technically I'm a sage. There's no.
Actually, yeah, Tomato, you can go over. You go and help. I will be okay with 1 healer.
Yep.
Thanks,
Okay.
Tomato.
Actually, Neith did. Neith, do you have? Neith oh, Neith's gonna cheat.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, then we'll just let Neef do, solo the room. Thanks, Valentine. Neef is gonna use one of the strategies to deal with the room by himself. So it's okay. Thank you. Yeah, there are certain strategies to deal with certain rooms if there's not enough players. So once we've done more BA, you will learn all these sort of advanced strategies. But I'm not gonna explain all of them during the practice run. Okay, so we do ready checks, and then we can sort of get started soon. Okay, fire, ice, thunder, water. We are wind, and then waiting on Neef. Yeah, it's just Neef. Okay, and then I guess dispel out there, so but I think BBD's out there, so it should be fine. Yeah, but I heard the mobs don't disappear, so you can use the mobs to build Indom after AV. Okay, so for those players in the rooms, tanks, remember to turn on your tank stances. If you are tanking the mobs in the room, you should turn on your stance, rotate your magia to the correct element. Okay, now what's the correct element? The element of the room you are in. So if you're in the fire room, the mobs will be fire mobs. If you're in the earth room, the mobs will be earth mobs, etc. etc. Just rotate to the correct element. Try to pull one mob at a time if possible, but if someone accidentally pulls the other mob, just grab it so that the other mob doesn't go ham on your squishy party members. Okay, just tank and spank it lah. Just might need to pop a few more mitigations, and healers need to keep the tank alive.
Oh, Red Beans in chat. If we need to clear the other portal rooms, if we need to sweep them for extra traps for Indom, you might need that, but otherwise it should be okay. I think someone else said. That's up to Bella and was it Lord Deathwing who was also running Indom? Yep, they were also running Indom, but otherwise they should communicate that anyway or organize it themselves. They're probably better equipped to deal with it than I am.
Okay lah. Then we will set a start time lah. So we'll start at ET 1540. Okay, ET 1540 for the support fit. Where's Miku here?
He has bravery, brave hog.
I see.
Only broke 5.
Just use Shark Brand Death L
Only
lah.
spent-
Just use Shark Brand Death L.
That's not bravery. Shark Brand Death L is a DPS loss.
What do you mean DPS loss? It instantly. I mean, it's a DPS loss because you don't get to DPS the mobs. Yeah, that's true.
DPS loss because you miss.
Okay, we're gonna start soon. So for all the other players, just be in a corner of the room so that you don't face aggro the mobs. Okay, and the tanks just step in your buttons now. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention this as well, but if you clear your room and you exit the room and you get to the front door first, you shout first and you win. Yeah, I should step in it. Okay, never mind.
Someone brought death.
No, you're mislabeling the product. Clearly, that's not Shark Brand Death L.
It is Shark Brand Death. I steal enough from your warehouse, I wouldn't know.
You steal from my warehouse.
I don't want to buy it.
What
It's
the?
missing. It's my compensation for all the bullying.
You should use like Shark Brand Spirit of the Remembered. 100%
Okay, yeah,
works.
Yeah, then I fail that and I dodge every arise afterwards. Shame me.
Right, nice. Are we first? No. We probably like last or something.
You should shout. No one shouted first. What? Hello?
That's why.
So if we shout first, do we win?
I don't know, man. Must ask BBD.
Yeah, see, Emmy's group wins because they shouted first.
Must ask BBD how the
That's right, we
rules
have
work.
to clear Earth.
That's true. Can I
Oh.
stun it? Alright.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. If you're doing like cheese on Earthroom in particular, I think there's also a couple you can also return trick. But if you cheese the rooms, it means you open the door without clearing the Also, any chest enjoyers? Any loot?
Okay, just so you know, right, this is the Raiden arena. So if you see a treasure coffer here, it just means that you didn't pick it up earlier on. Just remember to grab it.
Bonus chest.
Yeah, they call it a bonus chest. Same for the anyone who took the teleport earlier on. There's a treasure. If you forgot to take the treasure coffer in the teleport room, you can still grab it after we've cleared the additional mobs. Okay, so there'll be new mobs that spawn here. We're gonna clear these mobs out, and then we're gonna wait for the support feed guys to be done with the support feed. Okay, so we're back in the original set of 6 rooms. And Bella, you just go ahead and main tank lah. I think Bella can main tank from here onwards, because Typhon has left the building.
Bella's doing indom.
Oh, Bella's doing
Indom
indom stuff.
things.
Okay. Then I'll take over lah. It's okay.
I'm here.
No worries. Okay, anyway, for this set of mobs, in this hallway, there's a couple of things to take note here. So this is the original set of 6 rooms, and there's actually 3 mobs that we need to pay attention to. There's nothing special about these mobs, but they tend to wander around this area, and sometimes they wander into the rooms. Hence, the need to account for them. Okay, so the frog is the first one. We've already killed it.
Books in the hallway.
And then there's a book, monster, and centaur near the back. So we just need to account for these 3 mobs, and we are good. I think later on we also need to help clear some of the rooms. I think we'll probably clear the water room, help to clear water room for traps.
They're both in the hallway.
Ken, once we have cleared the mobs, once again we'll help to clear the water room after this, just for the traps for indom users, and then afterwards we're gonna take a short break. Okay, we're gonna take a short bio break while we wait for the support guys to be done with the support fate and their portal entry sequence. So that's gonna take about 8 minutes or so.
Soup white. Sedge. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an NA joke.
I see.
No one understands. They call it soup on NA. And every time they clear, they say soup wiped. And I'm not sure why, but they do.
Maybe they mean the boss monster has been wiped.
I don't know. I don't know. You have to ask Eric. Remember to tell him big fan.
Alright.
So,
Okay, so I think that's the water room. Thanks very much, guys. Okay, so at this point of time, we're gonna just take a short break for those who need it. We're gonna just AFK for about 6 minutes lah. So be back by local time X47. Okay, so by X47 be back. So that's about 6 minutes or so. Okay, go for a bio break, coffee break, tea break, refill your tea and coffee, use the washroom, and then be back here in about 6 minutes. Now do keep in mind that if you're going to be AFK for more than 6 minutes, you do not want to be AFK for 10 minutes. At the 10-minute mark of being AFK, you will get auto kicked out of the instance. So just keep in mind to be back here in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so go for a short break, and I'll be back in about X47.
Also, there is a slumber party going on. You don't need to DPS the bird and stand in its AoEs and do emotes and have funny animations.
Yeah, for those who don't know what's with the bird, right? Y'all don't have to hit it. It's a fun thing that Materians do just to have the sleep animation or the sleep emote. So just chill and don't kill the bird. What emote can I use?
The bird's only mechanic is it puts you to sleep and then it will bat the tank, so the tank can't go to sleep. So yes, you can stand in it forever until you become sleep immune. We like to joke that if you're not doing an emote when you get slept, we will cleanse you. Oh shit, someone's actually lying down and having a snooze. Look at this.
That's the plan, right? Isn't it?
Oh, they're doing push-ups. Big fat red bean. Someone's actually lying down on the ground, a big fan.
Actually sleeping.
Yeah, actually sleeping. Oh, do we need to reapply Protect Shell? Or is that for later?
Later. Once I start the explanations. Okay, I'm gonna refill my tea. I'll be right back also.
Okay. Quick, while Shark is gone, everyone point at him. No, just kidding. Have we got another Protect Shell plate? No, you didn't. Understandable, Eric. Have a nice day. Have we got another Pro Shell plate? I have one, but we probably need two because we're going to need another for Ozma. Oh, actually, hold on. Deeks might bring one. That's fine as long as we get one. If because I've got one. We just need another because I think we need to refresh before AV, if I'm correct. Alright, thank you, Deeks. I think Katal had one, but I think it would be easier if they didn't reset anyway. Change plates anyway. I don't know. Shark says I'm org. I haven't actually done BA in like 3 weeks. Lol. Oh, look at all those sleep resists. Tragic.
The the explosions get slowed as well. What the heck?
Alright. It's alright. I'll play this now because I'm sure this will make sense. And then Shark's going to talk about it later and it will make even more sense.
Thanks. Shit, I didn't do an emote. Are these the macros that you got from Eric?
No, these are the ones that Nia put up on the website.
Oh, okay.
Which I used for 2 weeks and then forgot to edit like one word, and Eric kept laughing at me about it.
I see. Have you fixed it yet?
It was like a Japanese to English translation that nobody noticed, and so it was like ether turbulent or something like that. It was just weirdly translated.
I see.
So it still made sense to everyone. Everyone knew what it was, but it just was called something weird.
Turbulent ether lah, so turbulent ether.
Yeah, something like that, but it was called something else.
I see. Yeah, I was worried I was gonna have to use the macros for today's session.
Did you want to wait until after the people got in before we organize the weapon tanks, or do you want to do that now?
I mean, it's just two random tanks, right? So it's fine to just pick. I can do one if you want to as well. It's fine.
What depends? I think we've got other tanks. Do we have other tanks coming? Eden's coming in a sec. Wait, Dante can't even get in. Okay.
Yeah, Dante was 59. That's why I was asking earlier if we needed to buy more time, but not nice lah to.
What, you just do another summon, then you buy time.
No, but then that was before the before the support fade so I couldn't like summon too long. Damn. The only time when I needed to summon longer, I couldn't. So sad. Okay, I think almost everyone's here already. Okay, it's 47 on the clock right now, so I'm just gonna kick off the sermon, okay, kick off the explanations for the second half of BA. Now just keep in mind once again, even if you are back here, do be mindful that if you haven't actually touched your mouse and keyboard or controller, just move your camera a little bit to avoid auto kicks. Okay, avoid getting auto kicked. Okay, now I'll begin the explanations. Now, we're gonna move.
Someone could take aggro on Skitty, so Bella can go do funny trap things.
Oh, I can take it, no worries.
I mean, putting it to sleep also works, but whatever.
But if Bella runs off, then the thing will reset anyway, right? It's fine.
She went into the room.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll
Okay,
take
no,
it.
it's fine. Nah, it's still asleep. It's fine.
Can refresh the sleep as well. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
sleepover.
now we are down to 3 more encounters. So okay, welcome back everyone. I'm gonna just start the explanations for AV and Ozma lah. Okay, so we're down to 3 more encounters. Absolute Virtue is the third boss. There'll be 2 trash mobs after AV. Okay, AV is Absolute Virtue. So there are 2 trash mobs afterwards, and then the final boss Ozma. Now from this point onwards, if you have oh, you just killed it. So rude. Okay, if you have DPS wisdom, okay, an offensive wisdom, this is the time to use it. Okay, the reason why we encourage players to bring offensive wisdoms from this point onwards is because for the last 2 boss fights, there are DPS checks. Okay, there's an enraged timer for AV. AV is 7 minutes and 30 seconds long, and for Ozma is 10 minutes 30 seconds long. So we need to try to push as much DPS as we can to try to beat the DPS checks. Okay, generally speaking, for most of my practice runs and looking at our numbers, we shouldn't have an issue with DPS, but it's always encouraged to bring more DPS than to not bring the DPS. Okay, the other rationale is that for these 2 fights, if you mess up the mechanics, you generally just die anyway. It's like even if you have plate bearer on and you stand in the wrong half of you stand in the wrong spot, you're just gonna get one-shotted anyway. So the plate bearer doesn't actually save you. Okay, it might save you in certain situations where you are on defensive and you're fully geared and you have defensive wisdoms and shell protect, right? Okay, but other than that, it's a very niche situation. So we usually try to just push for DPS. Okay, now the other thing to mention here is that for those who want shell protect, do we have a shell protector? Shell.
I'm sorry, yeah, I got one. Unless someone just cracked one. I heard someone crack.
Yeah. So if for those who need shell and protect, right, what we normally do is we just go to the rear of the group. So if you need a shell protect here, I see my whole party doesn't have it. So if you need shell protect, just go to the back of the group, and then usually the person casting shell protect will be at the rear. Now we try to make it easier for them to identify who has it and who doesn't have it. So once you've gotten your shell protect, you move away from them, move back to the front to make it easy for them to identify who still needs it. Okay, so thanks very much, the shell protect caster. Okay, later we'll do the same thing for Ozma as well. Okay, I think Dick's going a bit far at the back, so if you all need it, you can go to him as well.
I don't think he's cracked.
No, I don't think he has it. Yeah, it's not Dick's, someone
No,
else.
he said he was bringing it. Zidane Bearfang has it right now, so if
Yeah.
you wanna nicely line up for him, that'd be great.
Thanks, Zidane. Yep, so Zidane will be casting Shell Protect on the line. Okay, it should be self-explanatory. Y'all see the line, y'all just queue up and then get a Shell Protect, say thank you, bow, and then step out of the line. Next person gets it. Okay, thanks very much.
We have a North Wyvern. Do we have a South Wyvern tank? Unless, Shark, you want to take it.
If no one wants to do
Unless
it,
someone else wants to.
I can do it, no problem. But I'll leave you to it, Tomato.
Oh, I'm sorry. Deathwing's taking South. I didn't see that.
All right. Thanks very much, Deathwing and Valentine.
I assume Bella was main tank?
Bella should be main tank. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll resume explanations here. Now for Absolute Virtue, he's a wind aspected boss, so rotate your Magia to the correct element. There will be some Magia rotation in this fight. So just rotate to the correct element and let your Magia recharge by itself. Okay, generally you should need about 2 to 3 charges of your Magia rotation. But if you have more, it's better. If you have less, it should recharge over time. Okay. Now, For AV itself, its main mechanic is called IDOS, and IDOS will place bracelets of either a light or dark color on its wrists. And the main idea is that we want to go to the opposite color. So if it is light, we need to go to dark and vice versa. Now, the way IDOS manifests is in two different ways. The first is that puddles of both colors will appear in the arena, and we need to go away from the dangerous color. Okay, the dangerous color is the color of his bracelets on his wrist. Okay, it can be either light or dark. I will usually call it out. Now, puddles of both colors will appear, and the dangerous color, after a short amount of time, will expand, and all the puddles will explode. Okay, so you will hear me calling out, away from light, or away from dark. So this means you need to hug a color of a puddle of the opposite color. Okay, usually at the edge of the arena or in between two safe colored puddles. Okay, because the two safe colored puddles will not expand, so it's safe to stand in between them. Do note that you cannot be standing on them when they explode, but you can run over them if necessary. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Now, if in doubt and you're not sure where you need to go, just follow the crowd. Okay, there will be a large group of players moving to the safe spots. If you follow them, generally speaking, you should be safe. Okay, so this is for the IDOS puddle mechanic. Now, the second mechanic is impact stream. Now, impact stream, AV will split the arena into two halves, light and dark, and you'll hear me say, go to light, or go to dark. Just go to the correct half. If you're standing in the wrong half, generally speaking, you just die. Okay, it's quite hefty amount of damage, survivable, but I wouldn't risk it. Okay, I wouldn't risk, especially if you're not tank or not on defensive or fully geared, you generally just one shot. Okay, so just be on the correct half. Now, do note that AV midway through the fight will become invulnerable. Okay, he becomes untargetable, and he will summon 3 clones, which will fire off impact streams one after another. During that phase, will be stacked in the center. Healers, remember to heal. Okay, even though the party is doing it correctly, okay, is doing the mechanic correctly, they are still taking some incoming damage. So remember to keep everyone alive. Okay, so midway through the fight, AV will disappear. There'll be 3 impact streams, heal and shield. Just pop Hurricane potions, rotate to defensive to mitigate the damage, and just stay alive. Okay, that's one of the times where you need to rotate your Mega to win. Okay, you may need to manually rotate it to defensive because there's no target for you to auto rotate. Okay, so do take note of that. You might need to manual rotate to wind. Okay, I will call it out during the fight as well. Now, the last and most important mechanic is called Turbulent Aether. Now, Turbulent Aether will target 8 random players with an orb and tether. Now, this orb and tether will be either a light or dark color. And if you have an orb and tether, you have to resolve the mechanic. Please pay attention to the orb and tether mechanic, because if you fail it, you will hurt yourself as well as anyone else standing around you. Okay, so how is this mechanic resolved? The orb and tether, okay, will either be a light or dark color. At any point of time, if the orb contacts you, it explodes. Okay, so if you go and touch it, it will also explode. Now, the idea is to drag yourself to a puddle of the opposite color. So let's say I have a dark orb and tether. I will look for a light AoE puddle. Okay, there are these small little circular puddles on the floor, on the ground, around the outer edges. I will look for the opposite color. There will be exactly enough for the 8 tethered players. There will be exactly 8 puddles of the correct number of colors for all the players to resolve their mechanics. So if I have a dark orb and tether, I need to find a light puddle, stand in the puddle, wait for the orb to contact me and explode. Okay, the orb will explode on me, but because I'm in the puddle will mitigate the incoming damage, thus resolving the mechanic. do note that anyone standing around you still takes the explosion. So people should all be huddled near the center to avoid getting clipped by exploding orbs around the edges. Also note that you cannot share puddles, one puddle per player. So if you need to find another puddle, if someone steps into it before you do, quickly look around for the other puddle that you need. Okay, there's exactly enough for everyone. Okay, pop sprint, run around, find your puddle. Now in a pinch, if you really cannot find a puddle or someone stepped into the puddle just as you are about to step in it and you realize that the other remaining puddle is on the opposite end of the arena, try not to run through the center, because if you do so and the orb explodes, okay, after a certain amount of time, you'll just detonate. You accelerate towards you and detonate. So try not to run through the middle, because if you mess it up and you're standing in the center, everyone eats the explosion. So there'll be collateral damage. Okay, this is one of the few mechanics in BA where one player messing up the mechanic can severely hurt or kill everyone else. So we need to be extremely careful about these mechanics. Okay, thankfully for this fight, the AV fight is just the turbulent aether mechanic. Try to pay attention to the orb and tether. Now, other players, if you don't have the orb and tether, try to avoid the players with the orb and tether if they are not moving. Okay, if you see them standing still and they are not moving and there's an orb and tether on them and they are not like trying to resolve the mechanic, try to move away from them. Okay, but generally I just like fingers crossed they know what they're doing and just focus on doing the other mechanics, because there'll be other things happening at the same time. Okay, now for this fight, there's a couple of other things to mention. Number one, okay, later when Bella comes back, right, just get Bella to do an emote or something. Okay, our main tank will be Bella, and tank busters in this fight is a large AoE on the main tank. Okay, it's an explosion on the main tank. You need to stay away from the main tank when that happens. Now, to allow you to identify where the main tank is, especially since they are small little Popoto, and we all know that Popotos are pretty much invisible. You just step on them all the time. Help to mark Vela. Okay, I'm gonna just point them out. They are somewhere near the back. Help to put a sign or the triangle or cookie marker on their head so that your party can see them. Okay, in BA, waymarks and signs are party specific. Only your party can see them. So help to mark out the the Popotos so that you don't step on them. Okay, so that the Popoto doesn't try to revenge kill you with the exploding tank buster AoE because you can't see them. Okay, so help to mark them out. Thanks, Bella. Try not to kill everyone. I mean, if you want to kill, just kill the other Popotos instead. It's fine. Then we all can have a Popoto party later on. Thanks.
If you see someone run towards Bella during the tank buster, they are probably a Dark Knight or a Sage doing funny shield mechanics. Don't worry about them. If they die, then you can tell them skill issue.
Exactly, right? Okay, so just keep in mind, tank busters will kill you if you're standing next to the main tank. Try to avoid the main tank. I will call them out. I'll say, okay, tank buster incoming, move away from main tank. Do note that Bella also try to move away from other players as well, because if they can. But if they're like surrounded on all sides, then that's too bad. Somebody's gonna get hurt real bad. Okay, so just try to avoid the main tank. Okay, now the other thing to mention here is that there'll be ads in this fight. Now the ads are called wyverns, and what happens is that when wyverns appear, we will have two tanks who are assigned to pick up the wyverns. Now what happens is that each tank will just provoke, stance on, and hold the wyverns in place, and then DPS, right, just burn the ads down. If they stay up for too long, they explode. Okay, they will literally cast explosion. It's as bad as it sounds. So help to burn or DPS the ads. Do note that ads are thunder aspected, so there are different magia element. You need to rotate to earth, burn the ads down, and then rotate back to ice to continue to burn AV. In a pinch, if you have Shark Brand Def L, okay, best Def L ever. Okay, just if you use Def L and it sticks, and it kills the ad, it's a massive DPS boost. So if you have Def L, Swiftcast Def L, it sticks. We don't have to worry about ads. Okay, if you have it, just use it. But if you don't have it, just help to burn it as per normal. Do note that ads will appear in the same time as the tank buster plus turbulent ether, so there's a lot of things going on at that point of time. It's not just the ads and then we just focus on ads. No, there's a lot of other things happening at the same time. So try to focus on doing the tethers first, and then avoiding the tank buster and burning the ads. Okay, so all of this will happen at the same time. I will call it out lah. Try our best to stay focused lah. Okay, if you do die, then spirit procs, remember to crack a new one and continue. Okay, carry on fighting. Okay, but if you die then and it doesn't proc, then that's too bad. You should have bought Shark Brand Spirit of the Remembered, but no, we'll pick you up later once the fight is over. Okay, we can do this for AV, but we can't do it for Osma later on. Okay, I'll explain why later. Okay, and that's it for the AV mechanics. Any questions? Okay, now at this point of time, right, we're going to just do ready checks to make sure that everyone's here. For those of you who are ready and present, just move beyond the purple line. Just come forwards beyond the purple line so that we know that you are here. Okay, if there's anyone who is not here, okay, if they fail the ready check, just sound off. Okay, just let us know, because if they miss the fight, right, they'll lose the loot from the AV lah. Okay, they lose loot from AV. Okay, so we will try to make sure everyone's back. Yes, okay, thanks very much. So do the usual checks lah. Okay, we're gonna start at, I'm just gonna call a start time. So ET, we're gonna start at ET 01. Okay, no lah, 02 lah. Okay, 0200. So 1.5 minutes ET. Okay, 0200 ET. Do your usual checks. Food check. Okay, by now the food will have dropped off, so use a new food. Magia board rotation check. So rotate to the correct element. Okay, once again, AV's wind expected. Spirit of the Remembered check. Make sure you have a spirit on you. Stance check for tanks. Okay, only the main tank, Bella, should have the stance on. Okay, and other tanks stance off. Okay, and just ready up and listen to callouts, and we'll just try our best to clear it. Okay, now do note that LB2 at 0158, LB1 0159, same as before, range and caster LB only. Okay, just fire it off, doesn't matter, the damage is the same regardless of who casts it, but just use it so that it doesn't get wasted once we actually start the fight. Okay, just focus up and we'll just try our best. Yeah, generally speaking, the DPS check for this fight, not too tight, especially with the numbers that we are carrying, but we just want to try to do our best lah, minimize how many mechanics we'll see, so that we'll try to save on people dying lah. Okay, we're gonna start soon. Okay, just focus up. Now LB2 now. LB1. Okay, and main tank establish. Okay, as usual, AV opens up with a raid wide. Now this first mechanic is away from light puddles, away from light puddles, move away from the light puddles. Now the first time he does it, there's only one color, but subsequent will have two colors. Now come close to AV, come close to AV, he follows it up with Medusa Javelin. Okay, now for this fight, you want to try to stay near to AV whenever you can, because of these Medusa Javelins. Okay, now next will be go to light, stay near the center, go to the light half. Okay, again, staying near the boss will allow you to quickly cross over to the correct half. Okay, and finally, there's a tank buster on the main tank. Stay away from the main tank. Two colored puddles next. Okay, away from the dark puddles, ideally hugging a light puddle. Raid wide. Tethers soon, tethers, check for tethers, check for tethers, wait for the Medusa Javelin, and go. Okay, if you have a tether, go to a puddle of the opposite color and wait for the orb to explode. Tank buster on main tank, tank buster on main tank. Okay, once you have resolved the mechanic, come back to the center for shields and heals. Red, white. Okay, another red, white, and then AV will become untargetable after this.
Not skipping this bit.
Oh, sad. Okay, rotate to defensive, pop Hurricane potions if you have it, and then just use shields and heals. There'll be 3 impact streams, one after another. This is
Defensive
light.
wound.
Go to light. Stay on light. Next one is dark. Stay on dark. Last one is also dark. Remember to shield and heal. This is also dark. Now after this, pop sprint. Move away from the proximity. Okay, away from proximity and come back into the center after he lands. Okay, go back in. Go back in. He follows it up with Medusa Javelin. Okay, you might want to rotate back to offense. Finally, orientate yourself away from the main tank. There will be a tank buster. Tank buster on main tank. Red, white. Ads upcoming. Okay, ads incoming. Okay, just tank and spank the ads. Okay, but I think we're gonna commit to AV lah. Okay, just avoid dying, burn AV down. Nice.
1 sec needed.
Thank you. Okay, Miku's got it.
Miku. Okay.
Thanks, Miku. Okay, there's a treasure coffer here. Remember to grab the treasure coffer. Don't forget your loot. And we'll head onwards to the trash mobs up ahead.
Godspeed, Miku. Oh, no, someone else sacked. F.
I mean, Miku's plan was to use sacrifice in the first place. I'll leave your healers to deal with it lah. Ideally,
Killer PvP over sacking.
yeah, I know, right? Ideally, we should. The problem usually is not enough sacrifice, but apparently we have too many, so it's a good problem to have. But you know, best is not to have problems.
I don't actually know who sacked. Guess we'll find out. Miku sacked. Hog, okay.
Just note that it's actually possible for 2 players to sacrifice the same dead player at the same time, and then they both die. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, it's pretty sedge.
Yeah, just be careful about it. Okay, now we're heading up the stairs here, and there'll be trash mobs before the final fight. Now these trash mobs are for us to build our gauges. They are used to be they're our DPS batteries. So don't go ham on them. Don't unload your burst on them. You want to build your gauges for the actual boss fight opener after this. Okay, so Bella will just pull it, build gauge if necessary. Definitely don't def L them. Now these mobs will also cast a skill called On the Properties of Darkness, which must be interrupted with a stun. Okay, as a tank, usually I'll just keep my stun button ready. Okay, but do note that they must be interrupted. Because if it goes
They can
off,
also be slipped.
yeah, they can be sleep, stun to interrupt them. But do note that if it goes off, it will dispel buffs, random buffs from everyone who got hit by the AoE.
Don't pre-stun. Don't pre-stun before it casts, because otherwise it becomes stun immune, and then that's very awkward. Yeah. You have to wait for it to start casting.
I know, right? I mean, worst case is that you lose your Spirit of the Member lah, then just put another one on. I hope you have spares.
Yeah, I hope there's a save.
Okay, congrats on getting here. I'm gonna start off. Okay, we have 30 minutes left, so I'm gonna just start off the explanations. First things first, watch the cutscene, enjoy the cutscene.
Oh, actually, before I start crack a pro shell, I'm going to. Oh, I'll just hit rid of that button. Actually, Dex, it doesn't matter who pro shells. If Dex isn't voice chat, it doesn't matter. If you want to do it, you can do it. I have to do. Okay, understandable. Have a nice day. I have to hit this button first.
Alright, okay. Okay, so cutscene is done. Again, shell and protect is at the rear. Okay, the shell and protect down to about 7 minutes or so, the lowest person. So get a refresh of your shell protect at the rear. This is gonna take some time. Okay, so thanks Zitan for casting shell protect. Okay, form a line, get your shell protect at the rear. Now,
Wait. Oh, Monka. I also cracked a plate. Can't be helped.
never mind lah, doesn't matter. Shell protect quite cheap,
This one is
quite reasonably cheap, so it's not too bad. Okay,
It's alright.
I'm gonna start explanations for Ozma. Okay, so welcome to the final fight in the Bolesian Arsenal. Now to clear this fight, you need to be in the Ozma arena when Ozma dies to count as a clear. Okay, the wording is specific in the sense that you can be dead in the Ozma arena when we kill Ozma and it will count as a clear. However, the main caveat here is that every 2 minutes in the fight, Ozma will do a move called Black Hole. Failure to resolve this mechanic will eject you from the Ozma arena into Hydatos. So in other words, it will kick you out of the fight. Dead players cannot resolve this mechanic. Even if you are dead but you're in the correct spot, you still cannot resolve it. So you need to try to stay alive for as long as you can until we clear this fight. Okay, try your best to stay alive. Now, the Ozma fight. Okay, now for those who are new or first timers, you can open your mini map and you can look at the Ozma arena. Alternatively, if you've gotten your shell protect at the rear, you can also carefully inch towards the front, being careful not to step on the shiny, glowy, circular button at the front. Okay, if you do that, you'll get sent onto the Ozma arena, okay, onto the Ozma platform, and you can't get back up here. Okay, so I get a bit nervous when people jump down too early. Okay, now the Ozma arena, if you look carefully, is a ring-shaped platform with 3 rectangular protuberances on the sides. One on the east, one on the west, and one on the south. We will need to split our main alliance into 3 main groups: east, west, and south, with each group having a main tank with healers, and if we have more than 3 parties, we will have sub-tank parties assigned to east, west, and south respectively as well. Okay, you will see the party leaders yelling or shouting in chat. Okay, they are basically shouting out which platform and which role they'll be taking. Okay, so as an example, Bella 2 to 4 main tank south. Okay, Bella 2 tank, 2 healers for DPS. They'll be main tanking the south platform.
Oh no, okay, it's fine. That one's.
Okay, now do note that sub-tank parties or ST parties will have a priority on the pain flare mechanic. Now I won't explain what pain flare is here for new players. Okay, but as a general rule of thumb, any ST parties are automatically assigned the pain flare mechanic unless they are unable to. Okay, in which case they need to sound off, they need to tell us, my party has no healers or my healer is unable to deal with pain flare. Then we will assign it to the main tank party. Okay, someone's got to be aware of it so that they can deal with it later on. Usually we assign a veteran healer to handle it. So if you're first time here, don't worry about it. Okay, let the veterans deal with it. Subsequently, after clearing and you come back for more runs in future, you can slowly learn what do I need to do for pain flare, what do I need to do to main tank, what does this mechanic do, what does that mechanic do, etc. etc. Okay, but first time, just don't worry about it too much. Focus on just staying alive and clearing the fight. Okay, now.
Did we have a south pain flare? Make first time.
Okay, I think they know what to do lah. I think like main tank. Very cool. Scam. Okay. Anyway.
Very funny. PvP man.
Okay, I'll resume explanations here. Now, for the Ozma fight itself, now Ozma is a Thunder aspected boss. Okay, he's Thunder aspected, and there is no Mega rotation in this fight whatsoever. So if you are on defensive, you'll be on Thunder. If you're on offensive, you'll be on Earth, and you will not be rotating your Mega at all in this fight whatsoever. Okay, so just rotate your Mega to the correct element, and you'll just be on that element for the entire fight. Now, the Ozma fight itself, okay, there will be 3 main mechanics that you need to look out for. I will explain these. Mechanic number 1 is meteors. Now, meteors appear during the triangle and spiked ball form of the Ozma fight. Okay, do note that Ozma changes shapes during the fight. So it starts as a sphere, you will change to a spike ball first, and then you change back into a sphere, and then change to a spike ball, triangle, or square, sphere, one of 3 forms, sphere, one of 3 forms, etc. Okay, it does this 6 times. On the 6th time it changes into a sphere, it will start to enrich. 10 minutes and 30 seconds long. So we need to beat the enrich timer. Now, every time it changes into a spike ball or triangle form, it will cast meteors. Now, meteors, 2 players per platform, will be marked with a massive AoE marker, and you need to place these AoE markers, one to the rear right corner of the platform, the other one to the left on the ring-shaped platform. There's a button to the left of your platform. You need to place it on the button there. Now, not to worry, later on when we jump down, parties or party leads will help to place waymarks to signify where to drop the meteors. You will see 2 waymarks, only your party on your platform can see it. That is where to place the meteors. You will need to place or drop the meteor at the back or to the left. You will place a proximity marker there, and then after that run away from the proximity. Now, meteors cannot be stacked. They must be placed one to the rear, one to the left. They cannot be stacked onto each other. If they are stacked, they immediately explode upon landing. Try your best to adjust. Okay, do also note that we do not know who gets the meteor markers. It is 2 random players per platform. Hence, everyone needs to know how to deal with meteors for this fight. Okay, a single player messing up the meteor mechanic can wipe out the entire platform they are standing on. Hence, it is important that every player knows how to deal with meteors. Okay, this is also the reason why I cannot guarantee clears for BA. Because one player just, dropping the meteor on everyone else just kills it. Okay, it tends to snowball into a wipe. Okay, one platform dies, some of them get back up, not enough DPS to hit the DPS check, the ad kills another platform, that platform wipes, it snowballs into chaos, and we all wipe after a while. Okay, so try your best to focus on dealing with the meteor mechanic. It is the number 1 priority in this fight. Okay. Next, mechanic number 2. Acceleration bombs. Now, accel bombs only appear during the triangle form in this fight, and a few random players will be marked with a debuff counting down anywhere between 8 to 24 seconds. I've seen 8 seconds. Someone said there's 24 seconds as the highest they've ever seen. So it's a random timer. It places a debuff on you. When the time drops to 5 seconds or less, it will there'll be a dice icon that appears above your head counting down 3, 2, 1. At 1 it sort of snapshots and explodes if you move, cast, or auto attack. Okay, this is a mechanic that you've seen in other content in this game before. Susano OEX has it, the Delriada has it, okay, a few other fights have it as well. It's just a dice 3, 2, 1. You just need to stop moving. Yes, the CL has the Excel bomb thing as well. Correct. You see it in quite a number of other fights. So it's just that dice icon 3, 2, 1. At 1 or so, just stop moving. Don't move. Don't cast. If you're ranged DPS, to play safe, I recommend deselecting or untargeting Ozma to prevent auto attacks from triggering it as well. Okay, if you don't do anything, nothing happens, it fizzles off, and you have resolved the mechanic. But if you move, cast, or auto attack, it detonates, shaving away 90% of you and everyone else's around you HP. It's a percentage based 90%, everyone drops to 10% HP. Cannot be mitigated, we've tried before. Okay, so try to deal with Excel bombs as well. It is another mechanic that one person messing it up can just like nuke everyone else on the platform. Okay, the good news is that it doesn't instantly kill you, but if everyone is at 10% HP and the meteor comes afterwards, everyone dies. Okay, so healers, just be ready every time you see Excel bomb. Okay, I tend to get a bit nervous when I see Excel bomb near me and I just get ready to heal. Okay, just get ready to quickly pop some heals just in case. Okay, there's Excel bomb. Okay, now AFK warning. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, if you've been AFK for about 5 to 7 minutes, just remember move your camera a little bit. Okay, don't want to be auto kick at this point of time. Okay, resuming explanations. Okay, now the third and final mechanic for this fight is black hole. Now every 2 minutes, when Ozma changes into a sphere form, it will do black hole. To resolve black hole, everyone needs to be standing on a button. Okay, now you will be responsible for the button on your platform as well as the button to the left on the ring-shaped platform. There's a button in the clockwise direction. Okay, you will know it because there's a way mark on it as well. Always to the left. Okay, remember, meteors also to the left. Never ever go to the right. If you go to the right counterclockwise for meteors and the other party on your right goes to their left, you will both meet on the same spot and you will drop the meteor in the same spot, which is bad. Okay, so hence we need to understand is to the left. Okay, now black hole, you need to be on the button on your platform or the button to the left of your platform. Okay, now all 6 buttons, so platform and the button to the left of your platform, east, west, and south, 2, 6 buttons in all. All 6 buttons must have somebody standing on it. If any of the 6 buttons has no one on it, we all wipe. Okay, everyone gets kicked out of the instance if one of the buttons have no one on it. Now, usually for accountability purposes, to make sure that someone's got the button on the left, ranged caster DPS goes to the left because they don't lose uptime as they run to the left button. But in a pinch, you just need to be on a button, any button. If you are new, just go to the nearest button. Let the veterans handle the button further to the left. Okay. Healers, tanks, and melees usually stay on the platform because they have better uptime. Okay, but just be on a button, any button. Now, one thing to point out real quick, for whatever reason during this fight, if you die and your spirit doesn't proc, don't AFK. Sometimes, just before black hole happens, people will combat sacrifice you. Means they will res you just before black hole. Okay, it's very important. The timing is very tight. I won't explain why, but you need to pay attention. If you do get res, quickly run to a button. You have a small window to run to a button, any button, the nearest one, to save yourself. Okay, so just pay attention. Don't don't like zone out even though you're dead. Okay, people have got rezzed and zoned out and just got sucked out afterwards, wasting the healer's sacrifice. Okay, so just stay put during this fight. Now, unfortunately, if you do get sucked out, okay, if you do get kicked out of this fight, it's unfortunate, but you are no longer qualified to clear the fight. Kindly stay with your party until the fight is done. Now, if you rage quit the instance, okay, you leave, log off, and quit, the party still fighting inside the Ozma arena will lose limit break 3. So kindly stay with the party until we are done. Okay, doesn't matter whether we clear or not, but at least give the remaining players still fighting a fighting chance to use LB3 if necessary. Okay, so that is for black hole. Now, last few things to mention before we do ready checks and get ready to start. There are 2 knockbacks in this fight. The first one is called Shooting Star. It's a radial knockback pattern coming out from the center. Position yourself to be knocked to the front or to the rear. I will call this out. Okay, I'll say get knocked to the front, get knocked to the front, or get knocked to the rear, get knocked to the rear. Arm's length and surecast also works in a pinch, but do note that in specific points in the fight, you need to be knocked to the front or knocked to the rear to avoid getting hit by AoEs. Okay, I will call these out as well. Now, the second knockback is called Holy, and Holy occurs during the square form of this fight. Now, Holy is a small little pushback coming out from the center of the Ozma arena, pushing you away from the center. Just stay closer to the front. Always never ever stay at the very edge of the rear of the arena. Always stay ever so slightly closer towards Ozma to avoid the small knockback that comes out during the square form. Do note that there may be a movement where I will say get off to the sides, which means get off to the ring-shaped platform, get off the rectangle-shaped platform onto the ring. Incoming knockback, stay closer to the front. Be on the ring, stay closer to the front of the ring. Or I might also say go to the rear, incoming knockback just means go to the back, but stay ever so slightly away from the edge of the rear so that you don't get punted off the edge of the rear of the platform. Okay, and that's it for all the Ozma explanations. Any questions? Okay, now, at this point of time, because we are running a bit short on time, okay, 14 minutes, actually enough lah, but we will do ready checks and carefully jump down. Do not target Ozma. Do not target Ozma. If someone early pulls Ozma, the fight starts instantly. Do not fall off the platform. Do not fall off this platform. You will actually die if you fall off even before the fight starts. Okay, go over to your platforms. Party members help to mark the platforms for the meteor markers. Okay, just follow your party lah. Follow your party to your platforms. Okay, main tanks stance on and rotate to the correct mega element. Use food if necessary. And then we'll just do one last ready check before we get started. Okay, we need to start in about 2 minutes or so. Okay, 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, now, for those of you first timers, okay, I do understand this fight tends to be really, really nerve-wracking. BBD's pro tip number 67. Okay, if this fight is making you nervous, turn off the BGM. Okay, type in /BGM space 0 to turn off the background music, or just go to your system menu, system config, okay, and then just go to sound settings, lower the BGM to 0. Okay, it tends to make you nervous because of the sound. So first time, just lower the BGM. It really helps. Okay, the other thing to mention here is, okay, we're gonna start soon. Okay, did sound fall off? Okay, yeah, can y'all just go and settle that first? Thanks. Okay, other than that, main tank stance on, megas on the correct element. Okay, I will set a pull time to ET, okay, 1 minute from now, so 1100, okay, 1 minute 30 lah. So ET 1100, this is the latest we can go before we hit the 10-minute mark, okay, which is cutting into the fight time already, but we should have enough, so no worries. Okay, so LB2 at 1058, LB1 at 1059, range, caster, or melee LB, but if you're going to use melee LB, right, don't touch Ozma's hitbox. Okay, BBD's pro tip number 69, do not touch the ball. Okay, if you touch his hitbox, it will aggro onto you and attack you straight away. Okay, if you are not comfortable with using melee LB, just let the range or casters do it instead.
Remember to let the stay on the left side of the platform, and main tanks will be on the right side of the platform. That's different from how it is on NA. So if you've come over from there, make sure to familiarize yourself with that.
Yep, that's a good point.
Also the opposite for meteors. Don't go the wrong way.
Yeah, meteors.
Yes, familiarize yourself with your party's waymarks for meteor spots. It is different from that it is on NA.
Okay,
You don't
breathe
have
in,
waymarks, now's a good time to
breathe
say it.
in, deep breath, breathe out, LB1, and we are starting. Okay, main tank established.
If we stay cold, everything will be fine.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because you forgot to say it. Shake my head.
Sorry lah, my bad. I need to get everyone to like deep breath in, breathe out, stay calm, stay cool, everything will be fine. Okay, now, Ozma opens up with heavy hitting tank buster like auto attacks on the main tanks. Keep the main tanks alive. Move to the rear. Move to the rear. First mechanic is a point blank to the front. Go to the rear. Staying stacked, move forwards together as a group. The spike ball form does a split damage auto attack that must be shared. There will be a radial knockback pattern, get knocked to the front. Okay, get knocked to the front. Arm's length and surecast works in a pinch. Now if you fall off and spirit procs, do note that you will respawn on the south platform. Find an opportunity to rejoin your party on the correct platform. Black hole 1 soon. Okay, black hole 1, be on a button, be on a button, any button, all 6 buttons must be accounted for. Once the animation has gone off, you can step off the button. Movement mechanic incoming. We are moving off the platform, main tanks get off last. Pew. Okay, main tanks go in first. Movement mechanic. We are moving to the rear, go to the rear, and then afterwards to the front. Move to the front now. Square form. Main tanks bait line AoEs away from the party and pop orbs. Okay, everyone else avoid hitting the main tank with the stack marker. Do not hit them with the stack marker. Small incoming knockback. Okay, and then continue to bait line AoEs away from the party. Okay, looks good, very nice. Now square form is the best form to DPS. Movement mechanic incoming. Staying stacked, go to the rear. Go to the rear, small incoming knockback. Can continue to bait line AoEs away from the party. Black hole 2 soon.
Luna, get ready to run.
Black hole 2, everyone to a button, everyone to a button. All 6 buttons must be accounted for. Okay, go to a button quickly.
Okay.
Nice, teamwork, nice.
Oh, we did lose one.
Stay to the front, stay to the front. Main Ozma. Go to the rear afterwards, go to the rear now. Okay, move to the rear, move to the rear. Spike ball form, meteors incoming. Okay, staying stacked, move forwards together as a group. Incoming meteors, go to your positions.
Please adjust.
Try your best to adjust. Thanks. Ken, I think should be fine.
You might need LB.
Get knocked back to the front.
The
Can continue to stay stacked.
ads.
Now this one, get knocked to the front, get knocked to the front. And then continue to stay stacked. Hey, your timing, but it's okay lah. Faith for the best. Black hole 3 soon.
Rage.
Go to the button, Tatamo.
I should have, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Finish. Bye guys.
it's okay lah. Cannot rescue, need rescue. No.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. It was a good
So,
try though.
rescue?
It was a good
Yeah.
try.
It's right.
Okay,
Oh.
movement mechanic. Go to the rear. Go to the rear. And then get off the platform afterwards. Get off the platform now. Triangle form, meteors, and Excel bombs. Get ready. Okay, Excel bombs, get ready to stop moving. Meteors, get ready to move to the spot. Okay, meteors adjust, meteors adjust. Excel bombs stop moving. Okay, shield and healed, and then burn the ads. Okay, bait pain, continue to bait pain. Movement mechanic, go to the front, go to the front. Excel bombs, get ready and stop moving. Excel bomb stop moving. Can just stay stacked. Black hole 4 soon. Okay, be on a button, be on a button, everyone on a button. Okay, if you want to limit break 3, use it on the button. It's too risky to use it off the button. Okay, just LB3 here lah, if you need to. Oh, my eyes! Okay, and commit. Good job, nice.
Make sure to grab your coffer. It is still personal loot.
Alright.
And also jump into the hole.
Jump into the hole first. The correct order of things is to jump into the hole first and then grab
Actually,
your coffer after.
you are illegally required to jump into the hole. It's Yoshi P will come to you, come to your house, and say, "Why didn't you jump into the hole?" And look at you very disappointingly. This is a very lovely man.
It was not too bad lah. I mean, the run was quite clean. A little bit of mess here and there. I think Tatamo got sucked out, but that's fine. Tatamo doesn't need it. Yeah, it's okay.
Tatamo has too many fragments and nothing to do with them, so like.
Throw them into the locks. Throw the locks.
I don't even do that where it's capped.
I see. Okay, so congrats once again for those who have cleared. Okay, once again, first thing you should do if you're first time clearing, jump into the hole. Subsequently, remember to grab the treasure coffer on the south platform. This gives you the body, okay, the cloth and the seal, which is used to buy the body piece. Ideally, what you should do is, sell these to a friend or give them to a friend and ask them, come join me for BA. I've cleared it recently. It was quite fun, really smooth, quite exciting. And then I'll give you these body pieces or these pieces to get you along your way to get your body piece so you can jump into BA as well. And then in this way, we can just get more and more people to join us for our BA runs in future. Okay, and other than that, first time clearers, do remember to exit through the teleport. Okay, there's the exit portal at South Platform. There will be a continuation of your quest line to finish up the quest. Okay, there will be an NPC on the other end. Talk to them to finish up the quest. Congrats once again for clearing. And if you have enjoyed our BA runs, okay, do look out for more BA runs being held throughout the week. Okay, I myself will run these once a month, usually nearing the end of the month on a weekend for new players. Okay, but the BA regulars and veterans will host pug runs, which is basically public runs. Just look out for the pings in our Discord. Show up, be prepared, join them in the runs. Okay, and just have fun. Just wing it and just get more clears along the way as well. Okay, and thanks so much for coming, guys. Thanks Tomato for helping organize on short notice. Thank you very much. Okay, and the VA veterans, Bella for main tanking, okay, Dix for combat sacrificing. I know, right? Okay, and thanks all the VA vets lah. Okay, I know some of y'all like came from the DRS run earlier on, then just like YOLO straight into BA, right? DRS, BA, then maybe one more BA after this. Okay, look for someone else to go host one. But yeah, thanks for coming for the BA runs. The veterans they don't need more clears. They're just here to help carry the runs a little bit. Assist players with certain actions, perception duty, things like this. So thank you very much for coming for all of these practice runs. Okay, it's very, very much appreciated. Okay, other than that, if you have any questions with regards to BA or anything at all, to be honest, ask it in our Discord. Okay, the BA Eureka questions channel is for all the legitimate questions. You can ask questions there. Okay, then the BA veterans will usually help to answer those questions. Okay, things like, I want to main tank, what do I need? What do I need to look out for if I'm healer? Okay, and things like this. Just ask the questions in the Discord. Okay, the Eureka Lounge channel is for chatting, chit chat. But you can use that as well. Okay, ask them, when's the next video run, things like this. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for today's session. Thanks for coming. Congrats once again for all the first time clearers. Okay, if you enjoyed it, just look out for more BA runs in future. Okay, the BA veterans and BA addicts will be hosting them quite regularly. Okay, so just show up, be prepared, and just hop in, have a good time, and I'll see you guys around at the next BA run. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you all again.